Hello and welcome. My name is Gloria Sturmersheim. I'm a student at Eastern Illinois University, and this is my research presentation. The purpose of this study was to examine elementary teachers in East Central Illinois and their implementation of culturally responsive teaching, CRT, practices in their classroom. The sample had to do with 169 public school kindergarten through fifth grade teachers. And on here you can see the different demographics between years of teaching, education, and ESL endorsements. The research questions that we were asking in this study were if CRT practices, which CRT practices are teachers doing the most and the least of, and if there's a correlation between implementation and student demographics. The reason that we did this study is because there's an achievement gap between minority students and their white peers. So most U.S. school curriculum and instruction revolve around the white middle class culture, which may contradict the experiences and culture that culturally and linguistically diverse, or CLD, students have out of school. And several researchers have proposed that teachers are not prepared to teach culturally and linguistically diverse students or multicultural education. And so here we are going into what CRT really is. Well, it is when teachers are using the cultural knowledge and prior experiences and performance styles of ethnically diverse students to make learning encounters more relevant to students' backgrounds. And that goes hand in hand along with transformative multicultural education, which is when teachers possess the knowledge and dispositions that are conducive to diverse students' progression in society and their academic success. So the methods for this study included a survey of 35 questions using the Likert scale and yes or no and numerical entry questions. And they inquired about the CRT practices and student-teacher demographics. There you can see a couple sample questions listed. For example, I analyzed my curriculum and instructional materials for misrepresentation or lack of representation of culturally diverse groups. So the results, well, which CRT practices are teachers doing the most and the least of? We found that they are doing the most greeting English language learners in their native language, facilitating conversations about unpopular or taboo topics, and identifying how school expectations and culture are the same or different than students. And on the other side of that, what they were doing the least of was reflecting on their teaching weekly, providing a fair amount of attention, setting and communicating high expectations and goals. Over here, we have the results continued. There were a few significant correlations between student demographics and culturally responsive teaching implementation. And the student demographic that had the highest number of significant correlations with culturally responsive teaching practices was the number of ELL students that a teacher had in their class. And you can read more about specifically what is that has to do with within this section if you'd like to know more information. And the findings were that teachers are utilizing CRT practices that are more general in nature, such as self-perception, and less specific to meeting culturally linguistically diverse students' needs or addressing diversity. Two of the highest scores involved how teachers reflect on their teaching and how they provide a fair amount of attention to the ELLs. The two lowest scores are more concrete, pointing to observable practices specific to the ELL students, such as greeting them and facilitating conversations about unpopular topics. There were a few significant correlations between the student demographics and the number of ELLs, including a correlation between the number of Hispanic students and CRT implementation. And there were no specific correlations between teacher demographics, which had to do with their ethnicity, years of experience, or professional development and implementation of CRT practices. You can see the demographics more about teacher demographics right here in this section. And I will include more information about my opinion with CRT and how it is really important to our society today. Thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of your day.